go live. Oh, we're live already. Okay, let me put this thing up on the holder.
Awesome.
Can you see that? Like, are you able to see the YouTube video that I just started?
I'm just seeing you on Skype. I can minimize it and probably go to YouTube. Hold on.
Yeah, I should have said something about that.
Let's see here.
I know you did it last time. Hello, and welcome to another live stream from the only source of information that you need to not only provide. We're having a hurricane down here, so I thought I'd just and I know the lights are probably going. The power is going to probably go out, and the cell phone's going to probably go out, and the internet's probably going to go out. So I figured I better just tell people I'm okay.
Okay, well I'm here now.
You can see the live stream.
Yep, I'm on Hurricane Ida on YouTube live stream.
Okay. As always. And look, I did not call this guy. He called me, and I was like, "Oh, it's Sunday. He must want to do. Maybe he wants to do a live stream."
Yeah.
Wait, let's see if I can turn the thing. I don't want to touch this because last time I did, it did some kind of weird stuff. Here you go. He's on the computer talking to me. That's Shannon in Hungary. You want to wave? I don't know if they can see you, but they probably can. I got the volume turned up.
But yeah, I can see. I can see.
You're like famous now.
Yeah, I know. I had to leave the U.S. to become famous.
Yeah. Now you're like right now. Hey, look, this morning. Okay, do you know what Snapchat is? Did I ever tell you about Snapchat?
I'm familiar with it, but I've never had it.
I guess I only got two people that's on Snapchat with me, and one is Carlos. I guess I should turn this way. Hey, did somebody just leave a comment?
Let me look. Let's see. It says Lucky Son says y'all take cover, and Javon Blue says yay, a live stream.
I saw that one pop up. I wasn't looking the right direction. Oh, who's this? Oh, there's Lucky Son. Praying for everyone riding out Ida. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Mr. Shannon, this is some important stuff.
Yeah.
It's minute by minute reporting. I cannot tolerate you lagging. That first our satellite connection is going to lag 3 seconds, and then you're lagging 3 seconds. That's 6 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
This could be life and death.
Of Skype.
Let's see, turn this light off. See if that does something better. Oops.
Yep. Wonders of Skype.
All right, there's a hurricane again. I guess I could actually walk around and show you the hurricane, but I would lose my contact with our anchor man. So I'm just going to stay.
Yeah.
I might actually make some separate videos, to generate money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go out there and say, here's my truck. And then make that a video and then come inside. Here my refrigerator is. Monetize all of them things. People be going, we got to get the top news. We got to get to the latest news on Ida. They turn it on. It's like, this old man says that's his refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, all right, I think, do we have any people in there? There's 11 people. I can see that on this thing. Is that what yours says?
Yeah, there's 11 people, and let's see, Lucky Son says we got a little sprinkle about 4 hours ago here in DFW.
Where is he at? In DFW? Dallas, Fort Worth?
Yeah, another fellow Texan. Of course, I'm a misplaced Texan.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like, for whatever reason, 2 days ago, we got a pretty good hard rain. I'm thinking, oh my God, the feeder bands are already hitting there. Feeder bands are like when, hurricane is like round, but then there's these legs that hang off of it or arms that hang off of it.
Yeah.
And so when those arms start hitting you, it's not consistent. It's like you hit a storm and then it'll be calm and then a storm and then calm and then a storm. And and I thought we were getting feeder bands a few days ago, but it was just rain. It was unassociated. And then my brother got it. He's north of me, and now Dallas Fort Worth is like northwest of me quite a bit. So they probably the rain they're getting up in Dallas
Yeah.
Fort Worth, and it's not the feeder band. There's some other storm system that's moving along with
Yeah.
this. I think because
Yeah.
this is a big storm.
Probably
This
right.
this is going to be like a Katrina. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a pretty nasty storm from what you're saying.
But you know what? Since you're the guy that's always reminding me to pray, you know, you're the spiritual one
Yeah.
out of the two of us. You need to remind me to pray and pray for FEMA to fix my house. Okay, because I got to do that. That's what I need out of this storm. I had the last hurricane we had damaged the roof of my house, and it laid a bunch of trees down. And another thing it did is like my lawnmower is out in the woods in my tent, and the tent
Yeah.
got blown over. And I don't know I don't know if the lawnmower will ever even work again. But the tent is like a tied up knot with my lawnmower in the middle of it, and there's trees all around it. And I mean, to get my lawnmower up here from in the woods to my house would be an all day thing,
Mhm.
and I don't even want to try it because I don't want to put my back out. But that's been a
Yeah.
year, I guess, since the last hurricane. Doesn't seem like it's that long, but anyways, the house got damaged, and I have not cut my grass. The grass is up to here, which means it's not grass anymore. It's little trees, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, so that my whole yard, you know, I'm kind of divided on what I'm supposed to do with it, but I can't get anybody in here to fix things. And
Yeah.
you know, my mom insisted that I have insurance, so she paid for my insurance last year through hurricane season. And so I got a check, but I'm on EBT and Medicaid and Obama phone and free internet and all that stuff. And I didn't want to put the money in my bank account, because if I have a pile of money in my bank account, then I can't have any of those things. I lose the amount of money that I got for insurance would be about equal to the amount of money I would lose if I put that in my bank. So I put it in my
Right.
mom's bank account. And of course, I've already
Right.
told everybody. My mom told me she doesn't want me around anymore. She had the police take my keys away from me, so I couldn't get in her house. And I guess yesterday, you know, I actually, this is funny. I went to a friend of mine called or sent me a message saying, "I've been trying to call you. I can't get through." And I went and looked on my phone, and I tried to call them, and it didn't do anything. And I looked at it, and it said, "Before you can use this phone, you have to activate a telephone service." And I'm like, I did.
Oh, lovely.
So I think my mom, like, she realized the hurricane was coming and that I had to have a phone in case of emergency. So she went down and turned my phone off. What do you think about that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That's
anyway,
terrible.
you know, I actually, you know, for years and years and years, I wanted to get rid of the phone, but my mom wanted us to all be, you know, it's like I went and got phones for everybody, the whole family, and that way we could all stay
Yeah.
connected. You know, back then they would charge you for every minute and all that. And so I thought, well, if I get us all these phones for everybody, then, you know, we can stay in touch. But then I got to a point where I couldn't afford it anymore. And so I told my mom and my brother that I was going to probably have to cut the phones off. And my mom said she would start paying her part of the bill, and she would pay my brother's part of the bill. So that
Yeah.
just left $40 for me. And I really didn't want the phone, but I thought, well, if it's only $40 and we all get to stay connected, then I'll do
Yeah.
that. But, you know, I guess maybe 2 weeks ago, my brother called and said, "Dude, have you talked to mom?" I'm like, "No, I haven't talked to mom. She told me she never wants to see me again." So he said, "Well, who's paying for my telephone?" I said, "Well, I am." And he says, "Dude, that's not right. You're on Social Security. You shouldn't be having to pay for everybody's phone." And I said, "Well, I mean, if I can't afford it, I'll let you know, and then I'll so that way you can go down and activate a service on your phone, and I'll be down there disconnecting the service, or however they do that. I wouldn't even know how they would do that." But
Yeah.
he said, "Don't worry, I'm sure mom will pay for the phone." So he called mom and says, "You know, Eric doesn't have much money, so we probably need to go ahead and get him some money for the phone. And so I got a thank you card, and on the thank you card it says, "You'll always get your money. Stop harassing me." And I'm like,
Oh
I
no.
didn't even talk to her. I don't know what that means. Stop harassing. So, anyways, and I was well, okay. So she paid the bill for, I guess it was 3 months that she owed me, and she paid it all up, and then the phone went off. So, it's like I can't do anything. My manager, you know my manager. Do you know who my?
Yep, I do.
Okay. So, anyways, I was talking to her, and she's like, you really don't. You don't need to talk to these people at all because they weaponize everything you say. No matter what you say, it gets turned into a weapon
Yep.
against you. So, now, I mean, I was really wanting to get my phone money back, but I didn't want to say anything because I knew that they would accuse me of being stingy or something. So I didn't really want to say anything. And but just from that little bit, just from me telling my brother that I didn't have money for the phone, I'm a bad person again. So what were we talking about? Hurricane?
The hurricane. Um, well, let me interrupt you for a second, so we don't get too far behind. Rick Ballard says, "Good luck down yonder with the weather," and then Boom Blue says, "At the rate you're going on these storms, you should butcher all the trees 100 foot around your house." And then he goes on to say further, "You got homeowners insurance," and then he goes, "Put a safe in your house." And then T. Lynn says, "We love you."
Oh, okay. So, anyways, yeah, I've thought about it. I want to tell you a story. I couldn't tell this story before. Maybe I shouldn't tell it because it's supposed to be a secret. Um,
Uh-huh.
I had one of them fireproof safes when I was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
I joined the Navy. I had a couple of $1,000s in the bank, and I always felt paranoid if I didn't have that money in the bank. And so
Mm-hmm.
I kept all the money in the bank until I went on disability, and I realized, I can't. If you're on disability, you can't have money in the bank because as soon as if they find out you got money, they cut off everything because they want
Yeah.
you to spend yourself down to nothing. Well, I talked to some other people that were on disability, and everybody, it's like every human that I know that's on disability has a big old chunk of money in their mattress or somewhere. So I got one of them fire safes, and I actually had a
Yeah.
wall. I had a wall that was like exposed. It was just exposed studs, right? And I had these shelves on
Mm-hmm.
it, and so what I did was I built it so that there were screws that were hidden, and you could take this whole panel down and get into the wall. So I put this safe in there. But the thing is, the only way to get in there was to take everything out of that room and dismantle it. But I had a safe locked away, and I put all my money in there. It was a couple $1,000s, and it was an interior wall. It wasn't even exposed to the elements or anything. So I guess some time went by, and I got to thinking, that money in there is probably like 1982 or something. So I probably should take, because they had changed all the money. Remember when they made
Right.
all the bills? Like they used to be the color of like dirt green, and then all of a sudden they went to like Monopoly money.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, but the color of money in Monopoly, like the ones are one color and the fives are another color. That's what they did. The money that was issued by the United States uh, Federal Reserve
Oh,
or
sure.
whatever. Yeah, they made it the same exact color as Monopoly money. Each bill for bill, they were
Yep.
just. So, anyways,
Yep.
I thought, I better get my money out of the wall and go change it for some new dollars. I don't want people asking me, years later, why, why are you still carrying around these $40 or 40-year-old bills? And when I took the safe out of the wall and opened it up, what do you think was in there?
No clue.
Mud.
Oh no.
There was there was no money left. It was all, and I had vacuum sealed all the money and put it in there, and it was a fireproof safe and
Uh-huh.
waterproof fireproof safe, but it wasn't because what happens is the temperature changes, it gets hot, it gets cold. I don't have air conditioning. up until this year, I never had air conditioning. So my money
Oh,
stayed.
maybe condensation got to it.
It was full of water. And so anyway, I went to the bank and I said, look, you could tell it was what it was. You could look at those things and it could see it was money. And the lady said that, no, this is toxic waste. We can't handle this. You need to call the Federal Reserve. I was like, oh my God, the last thing I need is the Federal Reserve to know I was had money from
Yeah.
Social Security. And I don't, you can, I think you can get Social Security disability no matter how much money you have. If you're a millionaire, you can get it. But they will cut you off
Yeah.
from like some of the programs I'm in, like all this stuff for Obama phones and all that stuff. They cut you off. So anyway,
Well, it's the way it works. The way it works is SSDI, which is what you're on. There's no income limits, but if it's SSI, which is a needs-based program, once you get a certain amount of money or assets, then they pull the plug out right out from under you.
yeah, when I got on Social Security. See, my wife is she's completely 100% handicapped. She's never had a job though, or she never had enough of a job to get SSD. So she's 100% qualified
Yeah.
for SSI, which is like $790 or something, I think. And I got on SSD, and $900 they gave me a month, and they said that was too much money. I was making too much money, so my wife lost her $790 SSI. And so now, I can't get her into any kind of programs because they have this daycare program where they'll have somebody, they'll take her somewhere and like entertain her for a little while and feed her and that kind of stuff. She can't get on any of that because she doesn't have SSI. And they took her SSI away because I make too much money. So anyway, I talked to the people at like social worker last week, and they said that by law I can make up to $1,400 a month now, and she can still get her SSI. And I'm like, oh my God, how long has this been going on? Because you know what? I mean, I've been with this woman for 40 years, and I haven't gotten a penny for taking care of her for a decade. I mean, I've been buying her medicine and everything. But anyways, supposedly now, if with the help of the doctors and all, I might be able to get my wife on SSI. But anyways, I took that money, I brought it home. I carefully cut the vacuum wrap off of it, and I put it in a bowl of water, and I left it for a couple hours in a bowl of water. So because it's like mud, but I put it in clear water. Right?
Yeah.
And I took some tweezers, and you could see like I read the instructions about sending this money to the Treasury, United States Department of Treasury, and it explained that they would have forensics go through it and determine what it was, and they would give you your money back. You give them your bank account number and all. But it had to have like at least one serial number you had to be able to read, and you had to be able to. Like it had to have like I don't remember what the thing was, like 30% of the money had to still be there or something. It was some kind of rules. But anyway, I took tweezers and I carefully peeled each little piece off, and I went and bought a pack of Ziploc bags, and I washed, tried to rinse the mud off or whatever, and I put each, like I thought, okay, these pieces here belong to this bill. Carefully put them over here, dry them under a fan, put all of those pieces in one individual Ziploc bag. And then go get the next one, tweezers. And I put all that money in those Ziploc bags, dry, and I put them in you had to have like a special envelope it goes into I know this, from what I understand, the way it works is they have like a briefcase, and an agent of the Postal Service has to carry that briefcase with that stuff in it, like handcuffed to them or something, just like James Bond stuff. Is this story getting boring? I know there's like sometimes I'm told I talk too much, but anyway, this was like
No, it's
I saved it. I got somewhere around here. I got the letter from the Department of Treasury. I got a thing saying this is like 20 years ago. It said the Department of Treasury has examined your remains of your money and determined that you have this much money. And I was like, oh my God, it was exactly right. I saved, it's like every single bill that I found, there was at least one serial number. And I was like, please God, let this be 30% of the dollar. So it was all $100 bills. So they sent me a thing saying, "Oh yeah, we've determined that you got this much money in your in the pile, so we've restored it to your bank account." And sure enough, I went online and checked my bank account, and all my money was there. And boy, did I party! Well, I don't know if I really partied. I just got wasted, drank like a whole bottle of vodka or something. Are you bored? What the hell, man? You're supposed to be in the background like Ed McMahon.
Well, I'm just kind of waiting because we don't have any more comments. It said the last comment was, or the newest comment is from Jay Anderson, and they say, please stay safe. So I guess maybe we need to get you to make some kind of biblical comment, since that's what the gist of the channel is about, what you'd like to talk about, biblical topic.
Wait a second. I need to be telling people what's going on with this hurricane, because they're probably thinking that my house is about to go underwater. Where I live is called, it's Paris Christian, Mississippi. And it's Tacoma or somewhere over in Louisiana. You can look it up. It's like, people think it's New Orleans. It ain't really New Orleans. There's, like if you go, I guess it's around 100 miles east, but go down because Louisiana is farther south. There's like the Gulf of Mexico is shaped, like a circle. And so Louisiana is actually, even though it's east of us, it's also kind of south of us. Like they have what's called Chandelier Island out there. And then there's a big chunk of Louisiana that's just mostly really, really wetlands. And that hurricane's coming up through that. So it's like 100 miles from here. But it's, I guess it's a Category 4 hurricane, which is very, very bad. And it's going to eventually make its way over here because it's going up and it's curving over. Like it's gonna probably go up. It's gonna pass me on the north side. And we're east of the eye, so we're getting a storm surge, which means that the water. If people have seen videos of me riding down that highway on the beach, the water is up to the highway, and they say that very soon the highway will be underwater. Now that's what happened with Katrina. The water got 2 feet deep in this house, and that's what did a lot of the damage. And I don't really think that the water. That's like once in the last 200 years, water has been on this property. So I don't think it's going to happen again. I guess it's possible. I hope not. But this is a bad storm, which means unlike the last storm, which destroyed my house, this storm is probably going to destroy a lot of houses, but not mine. Mine is too far away. Well, I never fixed the damage from the first storm. So a lot of the panels on the roof are loose. The screws have been ripped out.
Yeah.
Like whenever there's a wind, I can hear the panels on the roof flopping around. So if enough houses get damaged and enough people die, FEMA will step in, and I don't know if my county may not be included in destruction zone or whatever, but if it is, that's what I'm praying for. I can not only get whatever damage is done to my home repaired by FEMA, I can get the damage from the last storm, which I was never able to fix. I was never able to fix that because I got the money and I put it in my mom's bank account, and now my mom won't have anything to do with me. So, yeah, did I tell you that?
Yeah,
it was like a lot of money. It was enough that I could have actually fixed my house if I could have found a contractor. But anyways, that's not. I'm really poor, and so when FEMA, when you go to fill out the questionnaire for FEMA, they're like, do you have insurance? Now I can say, no, I do not. Okay, well, you have to have insurance. What's your income? $12,000 a year. Oh, well, you can't because insurance down here, I don't know if you know this or not, but insurance on the Gulf Coast is like $12,000 a year. It's like my entire income would just be paying for house insurance. I would have no money left over for food or water or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you see? Can you see who? I don't guess you can see that. Thomas just came in on Skype and said, "Are you okay?" or whatever.
No, I can't see that because then I'd wind up crashing the YouTube stream. So,
oh yeah, you know what? I
have to stay on. I have to stay on.
Hey, look, read
YouTube stream.
There's a public comment just popped up on my stream. What does it say?
Patricia Reverend says, or wait a minute, Yaboon Blue says, I'm saying keep a safe in your butt, give money as you need it, or something like that. That don't make any sense. And then
Yeah, it
Patricia
does. He wants me
Redwood
to send him
says,
some money.
oh my
That's
God, are you at home? And then the next comment is, I can't even see that. It says, Hoys, you need to move to Arizona.
isn't it amazing? Are you aware what that means?
I get that one. I get that one.
Well, look,
Oh, okay.
when I got up on the I didn't get up on the roof, but there was a time right after the last hurricane I could see what was going on up there. It's like the roof is split over the back, like the northeast corner of the house. The roof is split open. Like if I'm down in the that corner of the house and I look up, well, the ceiling has collapsed, so I can actually see the roof itself. And those metal panels, how they overlap. Well,
Yeah.
they're separated like this, and I mean it's not that wide. I can see the sky from the back. I guess it's a back bedroom. It's a utility room, really, right now. But what's happened? The house is broke. Like the foundation fell, and when it did, then what happened to the roof is it went like this. So my whole thing is I can't do it, but I was thinking maybe I would get some subscribers out here with chainsaws or something and just cut that part of the house off, because you could go like across the floor of the house and the
Yeah.
walls of the house, and then somebody could get up there because the panels are separate panels. They overlap right there, and I could just let that half of the
Right.
house fall into the swamp, and then the front half of the house would be okay. And a lot of that is because all that's rotting back there. That part of the house is so full of termites. And so
Yeah.
I know that, eventually the termites
Yeah.
will make their way into this part of the house, which is livable. But
Yeah.
we'll see if this hurricane comes through and does enough damage to enough people's places. Maybe FEMA will come up here and jack that part of the house up and put it back together and,
Yeah.
put new roofing on there.
Well, I can't help you financially, but I can ship you a chainsaw if you need one.
That's one of the things. Okay, let me tell everybody the preparations I have made for this hurricane. I took, I sit here and I think, what batteries do I have in this house? So there's all these radios. So I went and took the backs off the radios, and some of them had rechargeable batteries in it. And I took them out and charged them. And then, like my iPad, my laptop, I charged that. The modem, I've got a rechargeable modem. Or see this mouse? I got to thinking, oh yeah, that rechargeable batteries in this mouse. So I took all those out and recharged them. I've recharged every battery for everything, like all my flashlights, all that stuff. The batteries are fully charged, and I moved my vehicles, both of my cars. I'm looking at the sky, and so many trees have gone down that I do have some safe places to park, and so I moved my vehicles to where I put my car right next to that school bus, and I put the truck right next to my car. So you've got a school bus on one side and a truck on the other. And it looks like most of the trees that are around there are skinny enough that if they fall, they may scratch the paint on my car, but they won't crush it. Not where I've got it sitting, because that school bus should keep it off of that car. And another thing I do for hurricane prep is I fill everything I can up with water, and I put it in the freezer. And then I get everything frozen solid over a couple of days, because you're an air conditioned refrigeration guy. You know that if you have a great big empty refrigerator and you've got it like turned way down, on the day electricity goes out, it takes like 10 minutes for it to get up to about 90 degrees in there. But if you've got it jam packed full,
Yeah.
all of that stuff holds the cold in. I've gone like with the I have gone with the electricity off for a solid week and still eating out of my refrigerator, because the stuff that's in there, even though it won't be frozen, it'll still be cool.
Well, when I lived in North Carolina and we got the hurricanes in, I always kept my refrigerator in the freezer as full as I could with stuff, and especially the freezer. And the stuff in there was still good for more than a week before I finally had to start throwing some of it out.
Yeah.
Power was up after Hurricane Floyd.
Oh, after Katrina, we left this area, and what I did is I took everything out of the freezer that I could, and I put it in these blue boxes, and not
Mhm.
they weren't ice boxes, ice chests. I didn't have an ice chest. I just put them in there, and I drove, and we kind of stayed in the. I mean, we got a hotel room. I think we went all the way up to South Carolina, but we got a hotel room, and we were eating like I'd had pizza in there that was all floppy, thawed out and wet, and we were taking that and laying it out on the roof of the car so that the sun would heat it, and we were eating that leftover pizza. It and it was terrible. At the last day of it, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't eat this." But you know, I don't have an income, so I can't. I had to spend my money on gas. I couldn't be buying groceries up there.
Yeah.
And I got home. Look, here's the thing. When I got home, I thought, it's only been like a week. The stuff in the freezer and fridge is still going to be cool. We can eat it. I mean, stuff like oranges and stuff. It's not like you can't. If it's still good, I mean, it's still like even lettuce. I open it up. If the lettuce is still crispy, you make a salad. But when I open my refrigerator, you know how they got all them drawers at the bottom? All the drawers were full of salt water because the ocean had come in.
Oh crap.
Yeah, I called my dad. I said, "Look, my dad's a refrigerator repairman." I said, "I need my refrigerator fixed. It ain't working." He said, "If it went underwater, you need to put it out by the side of the road." So I got in there, and what it is that there's like a condenser down at the bottom, and there's a little fan that blows on it. There's actually like a little tray on the bottom of the refrigerator that catches like the water from the freezer thawing out every day. Are you
Right.
familiar with commercial refrigerators, or you just did big stuff?
Well, I did big stuff, but we had, of course, I was an electrician, but I got into refrigeration because it was kind of forced on me. But what you have in the bottom of a lot of refrigerators is you'll have a pan down there that will catch the condensate that comes off the coils and stuff, and so you'll have over a period of time you'll have a bunch of water will go down to the bottom of your refrigerator and and stuff.
Yeah, well, that little fan, it serves two purposes. Daddy was saying that, and I kind of knew this, but it's like it cools off those coils down there, but it also blows right on that tray, and it dries the water up that's in that tray. But that fan was out, and I went
Yes.
down to Appliance Parts, and I brought the fan with me, and they gave me one for it was only like $10. And I didn't have to even wire it or anything. It just had a plug on it. So I put that little fan in there and plugged it in. The refrigerator started working. But anyways, um, the refrigerator I had then I got rid of because it rusted till what happened, the door fell off because of the rust. So I had to
Oh,
but I used that refrigerator for 10 years after Hurricane Katrina.
well. All right. Well, if you want to hear a few of the comments, it says in the groove, stay safe. SNC winds is starting here in Osaka, Miss area, and then discernment file says sending prayers, bro, and then Tia Hoyes, positive discussion. Remember. And then Jaboon Blue says, sorry for the crappy writing. Keep a safe in your house and give and take money when you need it. Use it and add to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey,
then discernment file says Nahum. I guess that's what it is. 1.7. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him.
yeah, we don't. I guess I should point this out. But we don't look. I'm gonna take this over here. I'm sure that this will be okay. You'll still be able to hear me. I'm not going far. This is all the wind we're getting, which is hardly anything. If you go out there, you can hear it, like it's woo, 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 but I got so many trees around me, hardly anything is getting in here. I mean, you can hear it, but you can't really see much of anything. And it's just the rains are just coming like little spurts of rain or whatever, and then and then everything's you know calm again because we are now getting those feeder bands. So yeah, Oh, here's the deal. I mean, whenever a hurricane comes through, even if it's a little Category 2 or something, the lights go out. That's inevitable. Usually, our local power company can get all that back up and running pretty quick. this particular storm is really, really bad, and so you're going to be stuck with whatever power companies come out here. They're going to be probably concentrating on getting electricity back to Louisiana, and I'm in Mississippi, and so yeah, I mean, I can't predict the future, but there is a possibility that we will be without electricity for about a week. I don't think that's going to happen, but I mean, I think during Camille we went 2 weeks without electricity. That was in '69, and it was fun then because I was a kid. I didn't care. But now that I'm a grown up, like I don't want to go without electricity. You okay with what you're trying to do? Is anybody leaving anything? Any messages?
Yeah, discernment file says turn your freezer down to lowest setting and will hard freeze everything. And then Angela Nadeau says nice. Then Intergroup says it's about how it is here too weather wise. And then discernment file says, did you know Katrina hit 16 years ago today?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Did you know that?
Says, what are the odds?
Yeah, did you know that today is the anniversary of Katrina?
I didn't, but I do now.
I guess I should have thought about it. I know Daddy was still alive during Katrina, and so he's been dead for a long time. But it just seems like Katrina happened yesterday. 16 years, there's people on this earth that have jobs that weren't even born when Katrina hit.
Yep.
Amazing how time flies when you're absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
and the last, go ahead.
My manager just said positive thoughts. She kind of read me the riot act last night about always talking about negative stuff, and so as my live stream manager, that's probably a good job for you to have. Is that whenever I start talking about woe is me, you have to change the subject or something. Are you understanding?
Okay. All right. Well, the last comment that's on here right now is Intergroup says I have 6 days of generator fuel on hand, which is a good thing.
Yeah, well, I got a solar cooker, and you know what I got? Those jump boxes you use to jump your car off?
Yep.
They all come with a USB port. And so that's one of the things I charged yesterday. I charged all 3 of them boxes. You can get, I got probably a week's worth of electricity for my computer and my modem. Only problem is like if all the cell phone towers go out of operation, then having electricity doesn't help you. But
that's the one thing about technology is you can have a generator and power in your house and everything, or you can have some stored up battery power, but it doesn't do you a whole lot of good if all of the infrastructure that supports the internet is down. You're still kind of stuck.
Yeah, well, I think, one of the things I learned during Katrina, we didn't have any access to telephone service or internet service for about 3 days. And then it wasn't even 3 days because I was gone for 3 days. When I came home, nobody still had it. I guess it was about a week on that. We didn't have any telephones or anything. And I didn't understand at the time because the towers were all still standing. None of the cell phone towers went down. They were still there. But I think they have to be hooked up to electricity to work, and I don't know that. I mean, some of them probably have generators, right? Do you know anything about that?
Well, a lot of the cell phone towers in the bigger metropolitan areas and in the higher use ones definitely have generators because I know when I was building maintenance for a big city in North Carolina, we had some lease space on the roof of our building, and we had some cell phone towers up there, and there was actually a generator and a battery backup up there on the roof that ran just those cell phone towers. So
you know what?
Some of the bigger companies do have backup power for the
for me now. I know that I just remembered. I had a memory. One time I was going down the street with the windows open, and I heard a generator running. Oh my goodness! You didn't see this. I'll have to remind me to tell you about Snapchat. But anyways, when I was going by, I could hear an engine running, and it was a dude out there, and he was
Uh,
like testing a generator for the cell phone tower. That's all that was there was a cell phone tower. So I'm guessing that's what that generator was for. It was in, you know, how they put a chain link fence around cell phone towers.
yeah,
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 he was in there. He had a truck. He was in there running a generator. It was permanently like a big old. It was like a generator that you would use to run a whole house.
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
I just got a thing from Snapchat.
Okay.
I this morning I went outside and I said, okay, this is all that's going on. There's a little bit of wind, and I made the snap, and it said, do you want to put it on your map? And I said, yeah, put it on the map. And so I guess there's people that'll go on Snapchat and they'll go see what's playing locally. I've got in the last hour, I have got 3,000 views of a Snapchat of me going, it's just a little windy out here. It's not raining. That was it. It was a 10-second. I just did that to send
Wow.
it off to Carlos and my manager,
Wow.
but I sent it to them, and I got
Wow.
oh, I want to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Jaboon Blue says, do you think the Heart Project is creating these weather conditions?
I don't even keep up with all, there's so many conspiracy theories now. I don't even know. I know. Oh, HAARP.
Yeah.
I thought you said heart. I just thought in my head. Yeah, HAARP. I don't know. That's kind of weird. You know, they're saying like they control all of the weather on Earth because they have a 1 mile by 1 mile antenna array up in Alaska. You're familiar with that, right?
Yep, I'm familiar with it, but actually, they claim that's actually been deactivated, and now supposedly, and of course, this is one of those things you kind of have to take with a grain of salt. They say that a lot of this weather modification stuff, or that they claim is weather modification stuff, is being actually done from outer space, from satellites now. So I don't.
Well, and Vietnam was like 50 years ago, right? I've seen a show on TV about them modifying the weather to get some kind of effect in Vietnam. So that's a long time ago. So obviously somebody somewhere knows how to alter the weather. And that HAARP project, their story about what HAARP is, I guess, makes sense. The weather story makes sense. So you don't know. But they put all kinds of junk in our sky. And my whole thing is, okay, so these airplanes are intentionally dumping stuff to alter the weather. Well, let's say they're not. Obviously, airplane exhaust isn't good for the weather, even if it's like all natural burning gas exhaust. And, on top of that, you've got all of these gas-powered cars causing problem. And then, worst of all, you've got these electric cars. They are like the biggest polluters on the planet. I don't know if you know that or not, but stripping the lithium out of the ground, and then you can't recycle it. There's no reusing it. It's like one of the most destructive one of the single most environmentally destructive things that exists today is electric cars. And you know why people get them?
Wait,
Yeah. Yeah, they get them because they want to save the environment.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing about the electric cars is something has to generate the power to recharge them.
Oh yeah.
And guess what's generating? Coal, nuclear, natural gas, to name a few, diesel. So are you really that much better off whether you have a diesel powered car or a big nuclear powered power plant? And the problem with the nuclear power is that's a gift that lasts for thousands of years after the life of the nuclear power plant is over with. You have all those radioactive waste that has to be disposed of somewhere, and it's not like a normal kind of waste. It's a waste that has a lifespan of thousands of years, and it just you can't do anything to hasten its conversion to harmlessness. So are you really any better off? I mean, there's some good things about a powered vehicle. Sure there are, but the problem of it is that they only tell you about the good parts they don't tell you about, where the power comes from and the batteries and the toxic chemicals that are used in manufacturing and those batteries. So, I mean, there's really nothing that's perfect.
Well, you know, the thing
Yeah.
is like there's some places like Mexico City is like surrounded by mountains. And so they get in there with 100 million cars going, and the whole place just holds all that in. People down there die from the air quality. So if you had that whole
Yeah.
place filled up with electric cars, you could actually have the electric power generators on the other side of the mountains. And so you wouldn't have that place, that dip, holding all that poisonous gas in. But I mean, that's not really beneficial for the earth. That's just beneficial for the people that happen to live in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a stupid. It's just there's always patch jobs for everything that civilization does, and none of it is really, it's not fixing the planet. It's just like,
one solution always comes with a price that somebody else has to pay.
yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you this. This is something I got. This is like a cell phone battery. You can charge your cell phone 5 times off of this, so you can use your cell phone all the way down to nothing. Plug it into this, and get 5 charges out of it. And I got this a while back just for these situations where we may have to go a while without electricity. I don't even look. I don't know where that thing is exactly right now because I'm not there. But it's. I'm thinking I don't think I dodged a bullet. There's going to be some destruction here, but I don't think it's going to be like that last storm we had. I was really kind of nervous in here because the whole house was creaking and you could hear things hitting the house, and I just knew that something was going to blow away that I needed, like my roof. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jelly bean.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, there's a few more comments that I'll add on here if you want to hear them.
Yeah. I said this was going to be 30 minutes, but we've already been like 46 minutes, 47.
Okay. Well, we'll probably wind up in almost an hour again, but
yeah, that's
anyway,
okay.
Andy Grove says we figured it out down here, and then discernment file says HARP all over the world now, and then he goes on to say in the next comment, Puerto Rico has one 3 times in Africa.
I didn't even know about that.
And then yeah, I didn't either. And then your next comment is question, is this a Jubilee year? And if it is, could this be why all the turmoil?
Yeah, the Jubilee is that like, okay, what is it? You've got the Sabbath, which is once every 7 days you're supposed to rest. That was according to the 10 Commandments. And then when the Israelites rejected the 10 Commandments, God said, well, go ahead and make a stupid law, a human law, an evil law. And so they got all those 600 rules, and one of those is that every 7 years you had to rest for an entire year. So you had 6 years of work, 1 year of rest, and supposedly you're supposed to live off the land during that year. But it was always fake. They always, from the very beginning, they kept working and pretending like they weren't. And so every 7 Jubilees, once every 49 years, you rested, and you rested for 2 years. And that's what we're in right now. That's what the Jubilee is. Every 49 years, you have to take 2 years off. And once again, this is just like in ancient Israel. No one is allowed to work. That's the law. You're not allowed to do anything unless it's absolutely essential. And as far as I know, I mean, hardly anybody I know has had any changes in their work. But they're all going, I don't know how we're going to get through this year without any work. Well, you go to work every day, but so many people are going without work. I'm like, I don't know. Everybody in my neighborhood goes to work every day. I don't know what's going on. So the Jubilee year was always fake. It's still fake, and that's what we're in right now. But the good news is that I really think that the cycles of time are continuous over the entire history of the Earth, even though our sun and earth and moon no longer function as they once did. God knows when these things are happening, and so they're still being maintained in some way. And I think that now that we're experiencing this Jubilee, because it starts like March the 20th is like the equinox, right? Sabbatical. That's the sabbatical year. But then it continued on. So when you got 2 years off, that's a Jubilee. And I think that's where we're at, which means that very, very likely, our next rest day is forever. So if you go back to March 20th, 2020, right, and you count forward 6 years, at the end of the 6 years, you start the next cycle of rest. And that's right around the corner. I may still be alive when Jesus Christ returns and the earth is brought back to a paradise. That was scriptural. Does that make you feel better about our live stream?
Yep. Okay. Jaboom Blues says it's not something is wrong. Everything is wrong in civilization.
Yeah, no lie.
And then Discernment File says we are living in bizarre world. And the next comment is Mr. Anton Lucas, the sun is the primary determinant of weather and climate change on the atmospheres of all the planets. A couple of coronal mass ejections are on the way as we speak, in fact.
Cool. Mass injections. Did you catch that?
And the Discernment File says we have a solar tidal wave hitting tomorrow.
I may have a solar one and a wet one at the same time.
Be nice now.
Yeah, because it's like we're
Mr. Anton Lucas says the temperature on Mars has increased more than the global warming on Earth. The wind on Venus have increased by 300%, and auroras have been observed for the first time in Uranus, as just a few examples.
Well, I'm not going to say what's going on with my Uranus, but I know for a fact I'm not going to Mars or Venus now.
Me neither.
You're supposed to. You don't laugh at anything I do.
Said, wondering if the fishing would be any good today.
Yeah. If you, I don't know if I should scold you on camera in front of everybody, but Ed McMahon used to be like, every time Johnny would say the stupidest stuff, and Ed McMahon would laugh. What? Do you never watch that? You should be laughing every now and then. When I put a joke out, the audience, we can't hear them. You have to do that.
Okay.
That ain't loud enough. We'll get him trained.
Okay. You'll get me trained one of these days, and then you'll fire me, and you'll get our other past moderator back.
Hey, well, you know what's more likely to happen is my manager's watching, and she's very likely to fire me, and then you'll have to just take over completely.
Uh-oh, you're going to be in big trouble then. Dale Durbin said, getting wavy in Waveland.
Yeah, Waveland is like the next city over is Bay St. Louis, on the other side of Bay St. Louis, Waveland. Waveland, like if you go to the end of Waveland, I think you're in New Orleans right there, or maybe it's Slidell, but it's Louisiana, that's the border. So, in other words, Waveland is Mississippi, it's right on the coast, and the next thing over is Louisiana. So that's pretty bad space. They say that the already, from what I was checking, the highway in Waveland is already going underwater.
Oh, wow. Okay, Discernment File says good weather keeps your bait off the bottom.
Oh.
And the next comment is from Mr. Anton. The yellow sun is gone as of about 2006 or 7. Now the sun is white.
I guess this change in color happened slowly over time because I don't remember that. It's like I don't remember waking up and just looking up at the sun and saying, boy, that's not the same color anymore.
Well, since I was a kid, I kind of do remember that the sky used to be a lot bluer than it is now, and now you hardly ever see a really blue sky. It does kind of have more of a whitish are kind of a whitish yellowish tint to it. And I don't know if that's because the Earth, the atmosphere has more stuff in it, pollution and stuff is changing it, or if maybe the Earth's position in regards to the sun has moved a little bit. I'm really not sure about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are sending comments. I can see some of the comments coming through. A lot of people are talking about what's going on with the sun.
Yeah,
What's,
yeah.
what's weird is I've been watching the planets through my iPad and kind of checking out the moon and trying to figure it all out. I'm not quite as organized as some people. If you look up every night and you see the moon somewhere, you never think, well, the moon ain't where it belongs. But a friend of mine who's an astrophysicist has been watching the moon for decades. I mean, professionally. She operated an observatory, and so that she was tracking everything. All these planets, star clusters, everything, and she's saying that the moon is not where it belongs at all. We have an area around the Earth. It's the equator, but the Earth tilts, and so the equator is not in perfect alignment with the ecliptic. But the ecliptic is this area that all the planets move around in, right? And so the moon itself is supposed to stay in somewhat or close to over the equator. It's not really supposed to go over the North Pole or the South Pole, just to make that easy to understand. So you should always be able to look out into the ecliptic and see the moon. You should never see the moon somewhere other than the ecliptic. And she's saying that the moon is never where it's supposed to be anymore, and that she doesn't have any contact with her colleagues because she left the observatory to become a professor. And a couple of days ago, she sent me a video of the moon and said the moon is back where it belongs in the ecliptic. So there's weird stuff going on that nobody's talking about. And I know stuff is going on that nobody's talking about. I've made a few videos. I just never posted them about where the planets were. And, I think
I have noticed, even here in Europe that I see the moon in places, or I have seen it in places that I've never seen it before, and it just seems strange. But one thing of it is once it goes back to being in that the one place in the night sky all the time and everything, that'll definitely be a big sign, won't it?
Yeah, that's here's the thing: is like people keep asking my opinion about since all the planets are not where they belong anymore. What does that mean? It's the last days? And I said, well, no, not really. The Bible clearly explains how the last days are going to happen. So, I mean, right now you can count this as the last days because every day you're closer to the end than you were to the beginning. But at the same time, the Bible clearly states that the sun or the moon will go into the nighttime sky and stay there. All ancient calendars are based on a 360-day year. And if you put the moon into the nighttime sky and you leave it there forever, what's going to happen is you're going to have to go into a 360-day year cycle, and then you're going to go into 30-day monthly cycles, which means you'll have exactly 12 30-day months associated with each year. That's an easy thing to see. If you look up and say that moon isn't there, well, you're going to question yourself, like, is it really where it belongs, or am I just imagining this? But if you look up and it's a full moon, and the next night you look up and it's a full moon, and you keep doing that, after about a week, you're going to know that that's not right, because the full moon, you don't really, the full moon is only perfectly full for like one night, right? Isn't that about right? And then it's kind of
one or two nights, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's the rule is like 5 days. You get 5 days of full moon, but it's not really full. It's just like it looks full to the naked eye. And so
Right.
if you go a week and it looks full every day for a week, then that's it. That's the
sign.
And the Bible clearly also says in the book of Revelation there will be 1,260 days from that point to the time when Christ returns. So 1,260 days, if we go by a 360-year cycle, that comes out to 3.5 years. And I think we're probably, I keep forgetting, but it seems like we're like a little bit over 5 years to go till Christ returns, if this is in fact a Jubilee. In fact, I went and I took a calendar and I was like writing down all these numbers and adding things up. And once the calendar changes to a 360-day year, you're not going to have January, February, March anymore. You're going to, because that's going to all go away. You'll just have the first month, second month, third month. And I actually figured out like that the end. I think the end would come like on. It's on an equinox for sure. I think the spring equinox in 2027. So that's my preacher prediction. So everybody can make fun of me on March 2027 when nothing happens.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well,
you think something's going to happen or no?
Well, I think it's going to happen because there's just so many other things that are going on right now that point to being the end times. I mean, I can't sit here and say with 100% certainty, and definitely am not a person who believes in date setting, but in my lifetime, I've never seen so many of the signs pointing towards being the end times as we see now.
Yeah, well, this whole.
If we're not in the end times, we are so close that I can't see it being more than another 10 or 20 years at the very most, if we're not already. But I think really right now, I think we're probably in the end times.
March 2026. Okay, you know what? Here's what you do. There's people asking me, when is the last day? When is Jesus? What day is Jesus returning? And I got that document on my other computer. Just wait until this live stream becomes a regular video, and send me a question, because I'm not going to go back and read all of these little questions in the live stream. So after this is a regular video, come back and ask me, and I'll post. If you want, I'll put the calendar of what I think is the last days somewhere online. I don't have a website anymore. I don't know if you knew that or not. It was just pointless.
I didn't know that.
People were going there to look at how to make improvised explosives and how to catch fish with a paper clip, and nobody was looking at the Bible stuff. So I had to pay to have that thing up every year, and Al Toledo had to maintain the computer just for that. And so one day somebody said, the website's not working, and I told Al Toledo, and he goes, "Yeah, I disconnected the computer." It's like, well, thanks for telling me. I won't pay for the service this year. But yeah, if you ask me in the questions after this is over with, I will put a note somewhere of what day I think is the end of the world. But I did figure out, what was it, September 23rd. Write this down. September 23rd, 2023. That should be the first day of a full moon. So on that day, you should be able to go outside, look up in the sky, and see the full moon. So that's the point where every day you go out and look and see if the moon is still full. Like I say, 7 days, you get to about September the 30th. If you still have a full moon, this is it. This is the real deal.
Okay.
Should we wrap it up, or we still have comments coming in I need to respond to?
Yeah. Discernment file said, "Sun so blinding white now, maybe it's going supernova." And then Mr. Patricia River says to Mr. Anton Lucas, "I thought a CME only takes about 8 minutes."
What is that?
And then
coronal mass ejection.
Discernment. Yeah, coronal mass ejection. And the discernment file says the wave of plasma sun shot off was huge.
Well, I think I better go I've got to take a few panels off of my greenhouse. I don't think I'm going to be able to rescue. I think this time around the greenhouse is going to be wiped, because those panels are so expensive. The only way to get to rebuild my greenhouse is to buy another greenhouse, because the panels, if you buy them, they're like $40 a panel. The panels, it'd be like $1 million to fix that greenhouse. It'd be easier just to buy another one for $1,000 and just get all the panels out and then recycle the aluminum.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much longer you want to go on with this.
Nah,
You
let's
see,
close it down. Tell everybody I love
we,
you, and I would love to go over every single comment, but I really probably better get out there and take some of them panels off the greenhouse before it starts storming. And I may even go
yeah,
document some things. You know, like they were saying about you turn all the temperatures down in the refrigerator as low as they'll go. I did that last night, and I loaded all my ice cube trays up, and I filled up a bunch of cups full of water and put those in the freezer, and I should be good for a week, you know, if the electricity goes out. And I'm really hoping the electricity don't even go out, but I know it will. We got to pray, right?
yeah,
Are you going to pray, or you want me to pray?
yeah.
I said, are you going to
Well, I'll
pray?
let
You
you
said,
start
yeah.
off,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I'll help you.
Okay. Actually, you know, it'd be great if we had like everybody praying like their own thing, but you know, I don't think my bandwidth will support all that. So, Father, once again
Probably not.
yeah, once again we come before you in prayer as we close out this live stream. And I hate to be selfish, but I might as well be. I'm not normally selfish. I do need a place to live, and my house did get severely damaged in the last storm. So, and that FEMA didn't come to my rescue. So, it would be really good if, however things work out, if FEMA did make declare this a disaster and FEMA worthy, and they sent some resources down here so I could get my house fixed. Because you know I've been trying my best to fix my house, but all I can do is like decorate it up. I can't. I'm too old and too sickly to climb up on the roof and fix that. I certainly can't jack this thing up because the foundations have been destroyed at the back corner. So it would be good if somebody could come in here and the United States of America could put the bill on it. And you know, there's a lot of things I need to pray about that are probably more important than my house. But to me, the house is the important thing today. So that's my prayer. And Shannon, you can pray for some of the other stuff we need.
Heavenly Father, want to give thanks for another opportunity to get together, a group of like-minded people, and share our thoughts and our needs with one another. And I want to pray for all the people that are in the path of this storm, that you will put a shield of protection over them and keep them out of harm's way as much as possible. And we give thanks for every opportunity we can to help lift one another up. And I just want to say that over the time that I've known Mr. Sustenance and Cameron, that I have always learned more and more through his insight and his channel, and that we hope that he'll be able to continue in the future, be able to help teach us all, things that's important for us to know. Amen.
Amen. You know, I was thinking about that prayer, like we're praying for people to get through this safely. And I mean, everybody, even the wicked, it's not like I want anybody to suffer. But, you know, when Jesus was asked, how should we pray? And he said, give us food and deliver us from evil and, you know, let your kingdom come. That really was a prayer to protect people from hurricanes. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be protected from the hurricane. But when Christ returns, that's the end of natural disasters. That's the end of food shortages. That's the end of sickness. That's the end of the Satan messing things up for people. So, you know, when you're praying and you're praying for deliverance from something bad, even if it doesn't happen now, when Christ returns, it will happen. So we can confidently pray that everything we ask for is going to be taken care of. And it hurts when it doesn't get taken care of quickly, but it will be taken care of. All right. I love all y'all. Love you, Shannon. Thank you for helping me. And we'll go ahead and put an end to this. And you know what? You need to call Al Toledo and apologize for taking his job from him. He's probably watching this.
Uh-oh. Well,
you know what? Next,
say this, Al Toledo, don't feel like that you have to just sneak into a corner and go away. I won't be offended at all if you ask for your job back.
Hey, look, you know what? You are definitely not
I
taking.
do. I help the channel out of love for each and every one of y'all and for sustenance and covering. So,
Yeah, well, I
but
mean,
by all means, Alex Toledo listening, don't feel like I went out and tried to take your job.
hey, the whole thing is that I guess people probably think we plan all this stuff in advance. Did you even know there was a hurricane down here?
No,
Did you know it was Sunday?
I knew it was Sunday.
Because like usually after the
I knew it 6 hours before you did because here in
yeah.
Hungary we're 6 hours ahead of the east coast of the U.S.
Yeah, well, every week, me and Alex Toledo do a live stream, and if I don't do a live stream, well, after the live stream, it's like our day. Me on Sunday, me and Shannon talk. Usually after the live stream, he'll tell me what I did right and what I did wrong, and we'll we just talk about what's going on. Whether or not Ginger or Mary Ann was the hottest one on Gilligan's Island, that kind of stuff. but
Yep.
But anyways, the live stream was supposed to be at 11, and it didn't happen because I wasn't going to do a live stream. And he called and just checking on me, and I said, I got a hurricane down here, and I probably ought to post some videos to tell people that we got a hurricane, but that I'm gonna be okay. And he said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Well, you want to go on with me right now if I turn on my thing?" And he said, "Oh, again? Yeah. We already did that before. I don't want to do this every week." I'm like, "Okay, don't worry about it."
I'll do anything to help out the community.
Hey, honestly, honestly, if you're a subscriber and you really want to talk to me, I don't hide Skype from anybody. If you want to check in with me on Skype, we'll talk. And if you want, you can do a video with me. It's not like anybody cares. This is just how we communicate with one another. What do we got here? 25 people watching this. It's not like this is a real live stream. So it's just basically it's just a way of extending the phone call to more people, right?
Well, kind of, sort of, but the thing of it is the stuff we talk about today may not seem that important to some people, but 2 or 3 years from now, the conversations that we're having now might be very important to people who are wondering what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we do kind of hit on some big major events that are happening. Just got a thing from Freebirdification. I could read it because I just happened to be looking at it at the right time. He was saying I don't know how to Skype. So here's the deal: when you go to Skype, you just go Skype.com or whatever. It'll say download, and you say yes, and it'll go downloading Skype. Would you like to set this up now? That's how quick it is, right?
Yep.
And then
the good thing of it is, if you live in the United States, I think it's free to call other U.S. numbers, but because I'm calling from Europe, I have to pay like $3.95 or something like that a month for the service. But I can call any number in the United States for free because that was the way that I set it up. So
well, I think when you set it up
in the U.S., you're not going to be out any money, really.
Yeah, it's like if you use Skype just to Skype with somebody who has Skype, in the United States, that's all free. I think they do, like with Thomas has his regular phone number on Skype, so I can Skype him Skype to Skype, and it's free. Back in the day, I know, like I would call him and it'd say you have to buy some minutes, and so I came to figure out you don't want to call somebody's phone using Skype if you can just call their Skype using Skype. But all it does, you take about a minute to set, and it'll walk you through it, like what's your name, and you put that in there, and you want to take a picture, and you either take a picture or decline, and it'll ask you. I think it asks you for your email account. They want Google. I think Skype belongs to Google now, so you just give them your Gmail account, and you're in. And then all you got to do is just type somebody's name in there, like I want to talk to Henry Thoreau, okay, Henry Thoreau, and it'll show you all the Henry Thoreaus, and you just pick the one that looks like me and say, I would like to connect with you on
Yeah.
Skype.
It's real easy. It's real easy. You don't have to be tech whiz to be able to set up a Skype.
Yeah, hey, I'll tell you what, back in the day when we were trying to do everything through one computer, I actually had to have a tech whiz, and it still never worked. But now that we just got, like, what I do is I just upload a video, and I have a speaker set up with my laptop, and then Shannon or Al Toledo or Carlos, whoever want you, if you're out there watching this and you Skype me today, you could be the one that's talking to me next week on live stream. So, but it only takes a second. I just turn on one computer dedicated to Skype, and the other, my iPad is dedicated to YouTube. And somehow you figured out how to watch YouTube and Skype at the same time so you can read the comments, right? Is that hard?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
Not hard at all. Only thing you have to do is you have to mute the audio on one, or you'll have a horrible echo.
And you know what? I'm glad you were able to do that this time, because like every time I ever do it, no matter